StockPulse Newsroom. I'm talking GGL Resource Corp today. It's GGL and Toronto Venture Exchange. They've been in the news, completing their first component of the 2022 exploration program with their Gold Point project in Nevada. Got the CEO, Doug Eaton, here. We're going to run through the details of that program. So, Doug, thanks for taking the time here, and certainly want to get into the program. Maybe before we do, maybe give investors a little overview of how you got the company going there, and then we'll take it into current day.
Okay, well, I'll give you a real B-52 on it. GGL for the last many years was known as a diamond explorer. And we got involved 2 years ago during COVID. Diamond exploration was very difficult. And we saw a great opportunity in Nevada, which we jumped on, Gold Point. The company right now is just over 45 million shares outstanding and 52 million fully diluted. We're well funded at the present time for the work that we've got underway, but we are looking to raise more for drilling later in the year. Two main projects, one in Canada, one in the US. At the present time, I won't say much more about the Canadian project except to say that it's a copper gold porphyry, 22 kilometers by road from the former chemist mine. So it's a great location, excellent project. Gold Point is in the Walker Lane for people who are familiar with Nevada. Very prolific belt. We're almost equidistant between Mineral Ridge, Gemfields, and Bullfrog. So some pretty well-known prospects that have mills at them. In fact, back in the 1960s, when the last work was done at Gold Point, prior to our acquisition, they were mining and shipping ores for processing at Mineral Ridge. What's really special about Gold Point is it missed the last exploration cycle completely. It didn't get any significant work in the 1980s or any time since. So we're really looking at virgin territory in a really prospective belt of rock.
Yeah, let's talk about what that looks like here. Investors like action here. You kind of painted the picture here. So you got a few bucks here. You're going to get to work here. You'll raise a few as you get going here. But lay out 22 here. How's it going to look for you?
Okay, well, before I get into the actual program, I need to go back one step, and that's that we did some work in the last couple of years that was really led us to feel there was a lot more potential than we had on our original claim block. So we consolidated the district, grew the size of the property by about 5 times, and now we've got what we think is a true camp scale situation. On the property, there are 4 former producing mines, underground mines. The most important of those, the Orleans mine, which we just recently got a heritage approval for work on that at that site. There was a little bit of concern about the old head frames and whatnot having heritage value. That's gone now. We can do whatever we need to develop the project. So this year, the advice of a very, very experienced Nevada geologist, we took a step back. We wanted to look at the whole property now we've acquired all this ground. We're looking at both bulk tonnage and underground potential. We started with a property-wide geophysical survey, magnetics and radiometrics. Followed that up just recently with a very comprehensive soil sampling program. Every part of the property that doesn't have pediment cover over it was sampled. And we did structural mapping across the entire property. And we're just about to begin an underground program at Orleans. Last year, we worked at Great Western, got that rehabilitated, resampled underground, did some nice underground LiDAR surveys on it. Now we're going to be working at Orleans and a third one, the Grand Central, where we'll do the same kind of sampling and mapping. When the old timers worked in there, they were really effectively high grading. Their cutoff grades were about 10 grams per ton. Or 0.3 ounces per ton if you want to use that system. And so there's really a lot of mineralization left unstoped in those underground workings. We've got about 6 or 7 kilometers of underground workings that already exist on the property. That's millions of dollars worth of pre-development for us. And so we want to sample in there and just see if what kind of material is still left unstoped in those workings. While that's underway, we'll be assessing the bulk tonnage potential. We know that there's areas that the veins come together where you could get complex interaction with a lot of fracture-style mineralization around the veins. We know from the work in the last couple of years that the main vein structures that host the 4 mines have parallel structures beside them, some of which were recognized by the old timers, some weren't. And those tend to be several meters wide, but they're grading around a gram per ton. So it was too low grade for the old timers. But that's a great situation for us, because if we can find these areas where these veins are fairly closely spaced, it becomes a potential bulk tonnage open pit scenario. And finally, we identified an area along an intrusive contact fairly nearby that seems to be the hydrothermal center for the system. And we found a lot of stockwork style mineralization in that area. So we need to assess, which of the most prospective bulk tonnage targets, what kind of grades do we get in the underground, and we'll be following it up later this year with either reverse circ to test the bulk tonnage situation, or probably long hole drilling to better define the underground ore chutes. What makes this thing really, really special is that I've never seen oxidation this deep. The underground workings extend to 900 feet below surface vertically, and they're weathered right to the bottom. All the gold that's been recovered from the district will be recovered by simple cyanidation. And so the metallurgy should be a dream here.
We'll certainly appreciate that update, and we'll keep around the wire for more. That's Doug Eaton. He's the CEO, GGL Resource Corp, GGL Toronto Venture Exchange. Doug, thanks for taking the time, and we'll certainly look forward to checking back in when you have some more news to report.
Thank you very much, Rob.